is CBS 11 News Now.
And good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us for News Now, our digital update. Ken Molestina here.
I'm Gilma Avalos. We're also joined by the wonderful Jeff Ray on this holiday, on President's Day here.
Very much on camera, Jeff Ray.
What I'm doing, and I'll show y'all in a second. I know y'all got some news you want to do first, but what I was doing is I'm trying to get the speed, the advancement speed of a thunderstorm, and I'm going to send out a track here shortly. So you guys go ahead and do your news thing.
You caught us in action. We are preparing for our 10 o'clock newscast as always. Jeff is a hard-working meteorologist there.
We're following a couple of big stories here today. Of course, we heard earlier today, the big story throughout the day, and we now know the name of the driver who was in that U.S. Postal Service truck that was shot and killed earlier today, Gilma, off I-30 in Dallas.
He was identified as Tony Mosby. He is 58 years old, and he is that USPS worker who was found inside of that postal truck that had been riddled with bullets, Ken.
Yeah, this happened in the eastbound lanes of I-30, if you're familiar with it, in downtown Dallas. Kind of happened overnight, shortly after 2 o'clock. Here's some video of the scene. Interestingly enough, though, or adding to this mystery, rather, there's no witnesses or no suspects that we know of. DPD and the U.S. Postal Inspection Service, they're investigating. We also saw that ATF investigators were out there as well. Also, near the location of another unsolved shooting earlier this month. All of this happened kind of in that same general area where I-30 meets I-35, kind of like close to the horseshoe area in downtown Dallas. Back then, a month ago, shots then were fired on a Dallas police car, and that also happened around the same kind of time of the day.
And at this point, we're not getting an indication, Ken, about whether these two incidents are related in any way, whether they're coincidental. We did hear from neighbors who don't live too far away from this, and they just think that it's simply too much for it to just be a coincidence. But again, we're waiting to hear from authorities to see if these crimes are connected in any way. But obviously, our thoughts are with the family of this postal worker who, by all indications at this point, everything investigators are saying seems to indicate that he was simply doing his job. Just
driving. You know, that's what makes this so scary. It's so mysterious for so many of these investigators. There's his picture one more time. Tony Mosby, 58 years old. He is the slain postal worker. He was ID'd just a little bit ago. The other story today, Gilma, that's got a lot of people talking is this skimming scam going on.
So half a dozen skimming devices were found at a gas pump. This is at a 7-Eleven in the Pleasant Grove area. The intersection, for those of you who are curious about this, Lake June Road and North Masters Drive. And DPD Financial Crimes Unit is investigating. Our reporter, Yona Gavino, was out there at the time when they were removing these skimming devices. And Ken, what we were hearing is that these are easily made. They can be installed in 10 seconds time, but obviously cause a lot of damage. And this is something that can impact any one of us.
You know, one of the things that I said immediately when our crew was coming in from the story is, you know, when I go to these gas pumps, the first thing I do is shake the little slot, you know. Right. But they're saying, you know, these things are so advanced that, you know, it's on the inside.
They can be embedded.
Exactly. So it's not necessarily an exterior device that's put on it. It's on the inside. And you can see the investigators, they're opening up or cracking open that little latch there that leads you into the inside portion of the pump. And that's where they're putting them. And it kind of looks like, there it is. It's like a ribbon wire. Right. Kind of a deal there. So.
And Ken, I walked away with some helpful tips from this story, and that's to look to see if this area has been tampered with at all. You're going to see, maybe in the video here, we're going to see a red sticker that is placed over that area that was opened by the investigator. If that's been tampered with,
if it's cracked, or split,
you know, something might be going on. And then obviously you don't want to use your debit card in these situations, right? Sometimes we get caught in a bind, but try not to use your debit card. Use your credit card if you can.
A bunch of people joining us on Facebook Live. Folks, if this has ever happened to you, let us know. We're interested to know just, you know, how prevalent this is, or, you know, or what you do now to avoid falling a victim to this. Let's say hi to a couple of people here on Facebook Live. Wesley Schaefer from Arlington was saying hello just a little bit ago. So hello to him. And a lot of folks still commenting about the previous story that we told you about the USPS worker. So a lot of folks offering prayers and thoughts to the family. Donna Hayes says praying for this man's family and for his friends. Donna, thanks so much for your comment, for reaching out to us. We're reading your comments coming in live right now on my phone. So keep them coming. In the meantime, we got to talk a little weather now.
Yes.
Jeff Ray, we're about to get some rain tomorrow.
I am now realizing I'm on camera.
You're ready for us.
So the reason I was so enthralled by something as mundane as just tracking the speed of a thunderstorm, let me show you on Viper that these thunderstorms, there have been a few around. This is mostly light rain, but we're starting to see some lightning down in Ellis County. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to zoom down a little bit. I'm going to draw you a line of 30 miles. Okay, that's 30 miles. And I'm going to go back 30 minutes. You see where it is? At the bottom of the line. Okay, so if you remember your math, if it goes 30 miles in 30 minutes, how many miles per hour is it going?
15.
That would be 60.
60? Oh, yeah, not divided by 2, times 2. and that's why I'm not a meteorologist.
And that means these storms coming up out of the south are moving 60 miles an hour and coming up. And so that's some arrival times, like in Combine at 9:04 and Warsaw at 9:05, as they'll rapidly move up from the south with a little bit of lightning. Nothing severe here. But we have wind gusts right now that are over 30 miles an hour, 36 miles an hour at Alliance Airport right now. So there are very strong south winds out there. That's why the temperatures in the upper 60s and 70s right now. I mean, this is just remarkable weather. I need to remind you guys, it's February.
Yeah.
Did you look at the calendar? It's February. We're sitting here at 8:43 in the evening, and it's 75 degrees at the airport. It's actually warmed up a few degrees since we did our show at 6.
Yeah, and we were talking
and we've
about
been on this roller coaster.
Yeah, and it's the dew point's in the 60s. I'm sorry. See, this is why I do weather, because this stuff just, wow, look at this. Okay, so we're going to deal with some big rain, and it's going to come in the overnight hours. So if you can, take Max 2, one of our other computers. We have 9 computer systems, by the way, in the weather department. This has just been mostly light rain. You saw a few thunderstorms coming up out of Ellis County, and then I zoom out and you see all this activity that goes all further to the south. But that area that you see just crossing Big Bend, that's going to be our first wave of heavy rain that comes in overnight tomorrow morning. Hence, a flood watch. It's in effect. Starts tomorrow morning, goes on to Wednesday night. And there's going to be multiple rounds of rainfall through Wednesday. Totals 2 to 4 inches expected, widely spread across from the Metroplex to the east, along the 35 corridor to the east. Localized amounts up to 6 inches possible. So that is a tremendous amount of rain. And I'll run this forward. Well, let's skip past it. But it shows you some of these computer models are kicking out 6 inches of rain.
Long story short, it's going to be wet overnight.
That's the blame. You see that? That is the river of moisture coming up out of a La Nina winter. So that we get this every now and then towards the end of winter, because we only have, meteorologically speaking, 2 more weeks of winter. And sometimes we fall into this pattern in February, and indeed we have. This brings round and round of rain. And I'll show you the extended forecast, because tonight at 10, we don't want to give everything away on Facebook Live. Right? So tonight
stick around a little
at 10,
longer.
I'm going to show you the timing of these multiple rounds of rain that come in, including tomorrow morning. But look at the rain chances, guys. This is the longest run of wet weather we have had since mid-December of last year.
We were talking, Jeff, earlier about how this is really an embarrassment of riches now, because we've really needed the rain, and now we're going to get a whole lot more maybe than we bargained for here.
The drought monitor comes out every Thursday, and you'll see. I mean, the drought monitor will come out and go, what drought? The drought? Exactly. What drought?
Right.
I mean, it will be severely dampened by this rain. But the other thing I want to point out is a couple of things. It's very windy tomorrow. It's going to be very windy Wednesday, but the winds will be from the north. So tomorrow afternoon will be in the mid-70s. The big rain will be in the morning. Then it'll be scattered stuff. But on Wednesday, it's a big rain in the morning, scattered stuff, a little bit more widespread in the afternoon. But on Wednesday, it'll be 30 degrees colder.
Wow.
The winds will be out of the north 20 to 30 miles an hour, and it will be raining.
Wow.
So that is just that's a reminder that, hey, it's February.
Yeah. let me ask you this, Jeff, and then we'll kind of wrap things up here. Maybe we'll get to some comments here on Facebook in a bit. But, late last week, when we were kind of, this what you're talking about is only a couple of hours away now. Yeah. But last week, when it was a few days out, the first thing that came up was, we're below 2.5 to 3 inches in some places. Yeah. Do you think when all is said and done here that we're going to be well above that?
Yeah, I think by the time we get to Thursday, the deficit that we've been running so far since January 1st will be erased.
Okay.
And we'll be in the positive category for a while.
Okay.
Because there are several more rounds of rain on Thursday, Friday, even into Saturday morning. We'll get a little bit of a respite, but that overall pattern I was showing you, that comes right back into play next week.
Okay.
So we'll probably have some big rains. And by the way, I was looking at early March because La Nina winters are psycho. I mean, they do. When they close, they get wacky. And I think March is going to be crazy. I think there's a chance that the first maybe 10 days of March will be colder than almost anything we saw in the entire month of February. That it's going to be one of those things where, you know, February was the warm month and March was the cold month.
Okay,
So
you heard it here first.
I hear that, and I'm thinking our gas bill is just going to go through the roof again. I thought the cold spell was over, but you're saying another round of that stuff.
I think early March.
And even stronger. Okay.
Yeah, so.
All right, well, let's chat again sometime before then.
We'll do it at 10. It will not be as lengthy, I promise.
Folks, thanks so much for joining us here on Facebook Live. We appreciate you guys chiming in and saying hello and sending in all your comments. We see them all. Unfortunately, we can't get to all of them, but just know that we have them right here in our hand. We appreciate you watching, and we will see you at 10 o'clock. But in the meantime, we are not too far. CBSDFW.com, that's the website. Check us out across all social media platforms. Talk to you soon.